All right, we are going to switch gears right now. Take a look at this. Temperatures are ramping up to record highs. A live look right now at Belle Isle, if we can. Sweaty crowds packing in for the Ford fireworks. But first, I want to show you this. Macomb, Oakland, Wayne, and Genesee counties under an extreme heat warning, which means being outside can be dangerous. Taking a look at that, that was like 97 degrees. We're going to bring in Kim Adams right now for the very latest in terms of the hottest day of this heat wave.
Yeah.
It's
right.
I'm speechless. It's hot. It's really hot out there.
I know. Well, you got a couple minutes here. You got to catch your breath because it's been one of those whirlwind days for everyone getting ready for the fireworks.
Right.
Lots of things going on, and to add to it, this extreme heat hasn't helped. One thing we're not really tracking right now, though, are thunderstorms. There are some out to the west that I'll show you in a minute, but really the big story for tonight, if you're headed down to Hart Plaza, just know that it is extremely hot, and we have something called an urban heat island where the concrete really just absorbs all that heat from the day and it holds on to it, doesn't release it back into the atmosphere as easily as the suburbs would. So 94 right now, but I want to show you the feels like, which is the temperature and the humidity. This is what really matters. Even though it's 94 degrees right now out at the airport, it feels like it's 104, City Airport 104. So I would say that areas where you're going to be viewing the fireworks, if you're down there early, you're going to feel more like you're around 104, possibly even 106 or 7. So this is extreme, extreme heat for all of southeast lower Michigan, and that is going to be a concern here as we go into the next several hours. One thing that's not really a concern, though, exact track 40 radar, we're not too concerned about that, but there are some thunderstorms back out to the west that we do need to track here over the next several hours. But right now we'll head to the west, and you can see there's nothing we're tracking across Lake Michigan, but coming up in the forecast we'll have a little bit better idea of exactly where those storms are setting up and when they will be here. But you're good for the fireworks tonight. It is just going to be that extreme heat. So we'll take a look at our Skycam here. Lots of blue skies downtown. The Windsor Skycam setting up right now with, again, 97 degrees in some spots. Our record today was 95. We're still 94 at the airport where they keep the records, but I do suspect that we will break a record here very shortly. So we'll talk about when we'll get some relief from this heat and also the next chance for storms coming up in just a few minutes.
The Ford fireworks will be lighting up the sky over downtown Detroit in 6 hours, and we are getting a live look at Belle Isle, one of the best places to view the fireworks tonight. Let's bring in Damon Fernandez. He is in the middle of it all, and folks have been getting ready for the big show tonight. All right, Damon, sorry, this way. How are things? You see people are grilling out, hanging out, and how are they holding up with the heat?
All that stuff out here, Karen. Look, I tell you, I'm trying to catch my breath right now. I just got onto the island. It took me about an hour to get over here. But look, everybody out here setting up for tonight. They know that the Ford fireworks is going to be spectacular. And many of these families tell me that they come out here every year. You can already see the tents. People have cases of water out here. And it's going to be a family fun event. I tell you, I just met the Mays family. They told me they definitely come out here prepared. You can see they're set up right here. He's got the water right there. They've got cases of water and ice down here. Miss Mays is like the matriarch of this family right now. How are you guys dealing with the heat, and what are you guys expecting tonight?
Well, when we leave here, we got air at home.
Look, we don't have it out here. I see you got a nice shaded spot right now.
Yeah.
The babies are down here sleeping. And you guys came prepared with enough water and everything. Keep yourself hydrated. What's your plan for tonight?
To keep cool. Keep cool and hydrated.
Keep cool and hydrated. That's going to be the name of the game. So look, lots of families out here making sure they stay hydrated, stay cool. I'm enjoying the Mays' shade right now. So this may be my regular spot throughout the night. We'll see. Karen, I'm going to send things back to you. Thanks, Miss Mays.
Oh, I love that umbrella. Keep that handy. All right, we'll check back with you a little later. Thanks, Damon. And by the way, there will be a lot of road closures in and around downtown tonight ahead of those fireworks. Now, most of them will begin at 6 o'clock, but I need to tell you, Detroit police, they can request to shut down the freeways and streets earlier or later. It really depends on how busy it gets. The biggest impact will be on Woodward. You won't be able to drive north or south on Woodward between Park and Witherell. Drivers can still cross Woodward at a few key points, including John R., Grand River, and Gratiot. Several streets south of Fort and Congress will also be closed. Now to our other top story this afternoon, a shooting at a Wayne County church. Employees at Cross Point Community Church step in before the attack turns deadly, potentially saving dozens of lives. Today, we are learning more about the shooting suspect, Brian Browning. We're going to bring in Pam Osborne now, who's doing a little bit more research on the suspect and the history there at the church.
Yeah, we know, Karen, that he had actually been to Cross Point Church a few times over the past year, and we learned today he had even sought counsel with the lead pastor there. We spoke to him today, and he's still trying to work out what happened and why.
I had very mixed feelings. I certainly was trying to figure out why he did this. Going through every word that was said that I could remember, every interaction that I had with him, to find out if it was motivated at a particular person, myself, or anyone at the church. And I can't come up with an answer specifically.
Pastor Bob Kelly sharing his earlier interactions with alleged gunman Brian Browning. Today we learned his mother attended the church. Pastor Kelly first met Browning in October of last year.
I did not know him very well. When she got baptized, that was my first time meeting him. He came up to me after and just introduced himself.
He says Browning wanted to meet, so they did. Pastor Kelly says he had questions about the Bible and even challenged him on some of the scripture. He also made some interesting remarks.
He said he was a prophet. He said he heard from God, all of those things, and tried to demonstrate how he was a prophet by telling me something that he didn't think that he should know other than God telling him.
Pastor Kelly says he encouraged him to be a part of a congregation. It was February of this year when he saw Browning again. He says Browning told him there was something about that service that touched him. He says Browning asked for help with some things but didn't specify what.
I don't know exactly what it was because he didn't say. Didn't say it was mental health. He didn't say it was an issue that he had or any of that. He just said, could you help me with some things? And I said, sure.
The two were unable to connect after that conversation. The next time Browning would show up would be Sunday, June 22nd. Investigators say he was wearing a tactical vest with an AR-15 style rifle, a handgun, and lots of ammo. Police say if it hadn't been for the actions of a churchgoer who hit him with their vehicle and church security who shot and killed him in the parking lot, many lives would have been lost.
He gave no indication that he had any animosity toward the church, toward me in our meeting. I know he was hearing, and I'm just going to say it, from demons, not from God, telling him to do some things, and that's the reason that we have the outcome that we have.
Investigators say they believe the 31-year-old was suffering from a mental health crisis. Police tell me they're still in the process of conducting interviews with people who knew Browning. I do want to mention we did go by his Romulus home this afternoon. There were lots of cars in the driveway, some people standing outside, but they indicated that they were not interested in speaking with us, Karen.
All right, we appreciate all that research on this one. Thanks, Pam. By the way, over on clickondetroit.com, you can read more about the moments leading up to the shooting. And then at 5 o'clock, the training those church employees had that helped them know what to do in order to save lives. Our coverage continues then. We are learning some brand new information about the murder of neurosurgeon Devin Hoover as prosecutors are laying out their case against his accused killer, Desmond Burks. During today's preliminary hearing, we learned investigators have amassed over 300 pieces of evidence, including 4,000 text messages exchanged between the pair. Prosecutors allege Burks shot Dr. Hoover back in 2023, then wrapped his body in carpet and then hid it in the attic of his Boston Edison home. Burks is facing multiple charges, including first-degree premeditated murder, felony murder, and weapons offenses. Testimony resumes tomorrow morning, with the judge expected to decide if the case will move forward by the end of the day. All right, I want you to take a look at this. The Michigan Court of Appeals has an answer after Jennifer Crumbley asked to be let out on bond. In a new court filing, Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald says Crumbley was a flight risk and is an even greater one now that she has been convicted and sentenced to prison. McDonald cites Jennifer and her husband James' attempts to flee after their son killed 4 students at Oxford High School. This response comes 6 days after we showed you this, when Jennifer Crumbley asked the court to let her out of prison pending an appeal. Crumbley is currently serving a 10 to 15-year sentence. We, of course, are going to continue to follow any new developments in this case and keep you updated.